This is Advent of Code 2020, day 15. The problem's called Rambunctious Recitation. And in this first part, we are playing a memory game with some elves. And the way this memory game works is that there are a starting series of numbers, such as 0 through 6. So each person goes one by one, saying 0, then 3, then 6. And then after that starting series of numbers has been spoken, then the person whose turn it is next has to say a number based on some rules. So if the previously spoken number was a number that we've never seen before, then you say 0. So 6 was the first time it appeared in this entire history of the game. So we say 0. Well, now the next person goes, and the previously spoken number was 0. That's not the first time 0's shown up. 0 also showed up back here at the beginning. So then instead the person has to remember when was the last time that number was spoken and how many spaces are in between it and it being spoken just now. So in our case, it was spoken at the first position and the fourth position, so there's a difference of 3. So rather than spaces between, what's the difference between the positions? And so then we go on like that, presumably forever, or until the elves get sick of playing and want to eat dinner. In the case of this problem, we go on until 220 numbers have been spoken. And it's at that point that we want to say, well, what was the number that was just spoken, the 220th one? So they give us a couple other examples, and then we have such a small puzzle input that we don't even need to open it in a separate window. So I think we'll just start with this and go for it. So I'll open up a Ruby file for part 1. And we'll paste in our input like that. Maybe we'll call it initial numbers instead. And so I'm thinking of breaking up the problem in such a way where we speak the initial numbers. Then we start the memory portion of the game, which is going to involve speaking more numbers based on history until reaching 220. So I think those are the only 2 steps. The other thing I'll want to do is we're going to need some data structures to keep track of things. So I think we'll want to know about like previous number positions, and we'll use a hash for that. I think we'll also want to know about the previously spoken number, which, at least at the beginning, is nil, it's nothing. And then ultimately, we're going to have, we're going to reach 220, and we're going to spit out our previously spoken number, and that's going to be our answer. So to process this initial set of numbers, I'm going to each over them. I want to know about the indices as we go though, so I think I can say with index. And I'm wondering if I can pass in an index of 1 as the starting index because I want to treat the numbers as going from 1 to 2020 rather than 0 to 2019. You could go either way and translate it, but I'm going to go with the 1 index approach just because that's how I want to think about this. So then we'll have the number and its index, and we'll be in our block now. And so I guess what I want to do for each of these is I want to update the previous number positions with the previously spoken number, getting the index -1. So I'm kind of, yeah, I guess in the first pass through I'd be sticking like nil and 0 in. So I guess I could put like unless previously spoken number is nil. Oops, I have a semicolon there. So on the first pass it won't put anything in there, but I can set my previously spoken number to be number. And then on the second pass, it will put 6 in there, and the previously spoken number will become 3, and so on and so forth, until we end up out here having processed all of these. Only these first 5 will be recorded in here, and the 0 will be the next one to go in once we decide to process that. The reason I want to process the very last one sort of post fact is because if we enter the most recently spoken one in with its position ahead of time, then we compromise this record in terms of knowing whether that number has been spoken before. So if I leave it out, then I can truly know whether that number's been spoken before. So that handles that initial go round. And so then for this next part, I can say initial numbers dot size. So I'm going to create a range, and we're going to go from the size, which will be 6. And because we're doing one index, that 6 will work well. So we'll go from 6 until 2020. And so we will each over that, and that'll be an index that we're working with. And so then from here, I guess I want to figure out, was the previously spoken number something that exists in our previous number positions array? So I will previous number positions, I really don't need to fetch that out. I can just grab it like this, previously spoken number. And so if we have a previous position, if we have a previous position, then we can I think we're trying to define like what our next spoken number is going to be. So it's either going to be 0 if we've not seen the thing before, or if we have seen it before, then the next spoken number is instead going to be the I minus the previous position. Yeah, I'm wondering if I need to do the size +1 here, because I'm thinking of this first example where the 4th thing we encounter needs to be set to 0. Oh, but I'm processing the previous one. Like once I enter into the second loop, it's like I'm processing the 6. Okay, so I think this is okay. Yeah, so it'll be I minus previous position will be the next spoken number. And then, we'll have to update the previous number position with our previously spoken number. being equal to I. So if we're coming in here with 0 as our previously spoken number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll say that 0 is at the 6th position. And now we will say that our previously spoken number is what we're considering our next spoken number. And if we run through all of that, I think, yeah, we'll end at 220 and we'll have an answer which will be embedded in previously spoken number. So let's try this out with 0, 3, 6, which is the sample we saw. And we get 0, which is not right. Previous number positions get set to I minus 1. Yeah, perhaps I'm just overcomplicating it then. It should just be I. And then each time we loop over these, we update our previously spoken number. Then we get down here and we go from 6 to 220. Yeah, I wonder if this is causing us issues. Previous number positions, I mean that, I guess we can say if previous position dot unless that's nil, we should set the next spoken number to this. Okay. So let's see if those adjustments helped. No, we're still at 0. So the next spoken number will be 0 unless we've seen it before. So if we say that's nil, and we say, so if the previous position is nil, we haven't seen it before, then next spoken number is 0, else it is going to be the current position minus the previous position. And then at this point, yeah, we update our previously spoken number after setting it to setting the position of the previous spoken number to be I. Yeah. Yeah, key value pairs are number and then position. So yeah, if we pass in our number, we get our position. Previously spoken number. Here's what I'm doing wrong here. Yeah, it's still 0. Let's see how we get initialized. What do we have? Yeah, initial numbers. Previously spoken number, write 6. Previous number of positions. The 0 was at the first position, the 3 is at the second position. That looks good. So then initial numbers dot size is 3. So yeah, 3 to 2020. Yeah, the last position is 2020, so that should work fine. Previous number of positions. Previously spoken number. Yeah, nil, as I would expect. So if it's nil, then the next spoken number should be 0. Let's out of here. Let's just run like 10 iterations of this. And then stop ourselves and see how things are looking. So previously spoken number. And then previous number positions. I wonder if I am off by 1 with the what if we were to puts out the previously spoken number each time before updating it? I'm curious. So this is going to output 0. Curious what this outputs right before 0 gets output though. We are doing some print line debugging now. 436. I think that we are off by 1 here. Shoot. Okay, so have I done too many iterations, or am I just printing out the wrong thing at the end? Yeah, we're figuring out what number is going to be spoken next, so that's not actually our 220th number. Okay. Well, this isn't much of an improvement in terms of the implementation, but I guess if I just leave these puts here, I can see what we get, 700, and we can see if that is the answer to part 1. And it is a gold star. Not the implementation that I'm most proud of, but we've worked through it and got an answer. That was part 1. Stick around and we'll have another video for part 2 coming up. Thanks for watching.